Adolf Hitler has been studied for decades as the leader who brought the world into the deadliest war in history. But behind the image of the dictator existed a private world few people saw, one shaped by the women who surrounded him. Their stories reveal the emotional life, dependency, and contradictions of one of history's darkest figures.
Gysi Raubal was more than Hitler's niece. She became the center of his emotional life in the late 1920s. Hitler purchased her fine clothes, controlled her movements, and kept her close. Their relationship became the subject of rumors, scandal, and obsession. When Gysi died in Hitler's apartment in 1931, officially ruled a suicide, it shattered him and shaped the bitter emotional world he carried into power. After Gysi's death, Hitler withdrew emotionally, but soon Anna Eva Braun appeared in his life. She was a young Munich shop assistant who fell deeply in love with the powerful man everyone else feared. Despite years of secrecy, heartbreak, and long periods of loneliness, Eva never left him. While Hitler ruled Europe, she waited in the shadows, filming home movies and building a private world far from the battlefield.
Hitler's mountain retreat, the Berghof, became the quiet stage where Eva Braun and a circle of women lived a life disconnected from the war. Here, Hitler could relax, watching films, drinking tea, and enjoying carefully staged photographs. To outsiders, it looked peaceful, but to those living there, daily life depended entirely on Hitler's moods and political schedule.
Hitler's secretaries, such as Traudl Jung and Gerda Christian, witnessed him more closely than most military leaders. They saw him joking, exhausted, stressed, and occasionally polite. To them, he often seemed like a boss, not a monster. Their memories later helped historians understand the duality of Hitler's public and private self.
As the Third Reich collapsed and Soviet artillery struck Berlin, many of Hitler's closest women remained with him in the underground Führer bunker. Eva Braun joined him there, leaving safety behind. She married Hitler in the bunker during the final hours of the war. The next day, they ended their lives together. Their deaths marked not only the fall of the Nazi Empire, but the end of one of history's most disturbing relationships. The women who survived the bunker were captured and interrogated. Some defended Hitler for the rest of their lives, while others admitted they had lived in a world of denial and delusion. Their testimonies helped historians piece together a portrait of Hitler not as a mythical figure, but as a deeply flawed human being responsible for unimaginable destruction. Although Hitler dominated Germany with iron power, he claimed he preferred not to marry because he believed a married leader would belong to his wife instead of the nation. Privately, however, he sought constant female attention, emotional reassurance, and admiration. Women played a role not just in his heart, but in maintaining the image of a clean and disciplined leader for the German public.
Nazi propaganda frequently showed Hitler as a man admired by women across Germany. Female enthusiasm was used to build the legend of a charismatic leader. Women screamed his name at rallies, fainted in crowds, and wrote thousands of letters confessing admiration and devotion. Behind the scenes, propaganda minister Goebbels encouraged these images as powerful psychological weapons.
Beyond Eva Braun, the Berghof included a small circle of women such as Emmy Goering, Herta Schneider, and Gerda Bormann. They hosted dinners, maintained social rituals, and kept a polite, almost royal atmosphere, even as millions were dying across Europe. Their bubble of luxury and denial became one of the strangest contradictions of the entire Nazi era.
Not all women in Hitler's orbit supported him. Some dared to criticize or resist. Unity Mitford, who admired Hitler deeply, eventually distanced herself. Others inside Germany rejected Nazi ideology entirely and risked their lives to save Jews or resist the war machine. These women demonstrated that even close proximity to power could not erase conscience.
Hitler's views of women were contradictory. Publicly, he claimed women should be simple, natural, healthy, and devoted to family. Yet he surrounded himself with fashionable, modern, outspoken women. His speeches argued women should focus on motherhood, but privately, he enjoyed luxury, music, theater, cosmetics, fashion photography, and youthful charisma around him.
Inside the Führer bunker, as the bombs grew louder, Hitler became increasingly dependent on Eva Braun and the remaining women for emotional support. They poured tea, typed final orders, and listened as Hitler raged and despaired. The walls shook, soldiers died outside, and yet inside the bunker, the routine continued, one of the most surreal scenes of the entire war.
Nazi propaganda frequently showed Hitler as a man admired by women across Germany. Female enthusiasm was used to build the legend of a charismatic leader. Women screamed his name at rallies, fainted in crowds, and wrote thousands of letters confessing admiration and devotion. Behind the scenes, propaganda minister Goebbels encouraged these images as powerful psychological weapons.